For the next 24 hours, starting tonight for dinner, I'm gonna be cooking every single meal on this Blackstone.
I ran this experiment to see if you could use a simple griddle as your main cooking device. I get not everyone's a backyard food enthusiast like myself, and I think most people see a griddle as like a secondary station. So for 24 hours over 4 different meals, I didn't use any pots, pans, just cooked on the Blackstone Griddle in the snow.
The real test, however, is if my family doesn't hate me after eating 24 hours of nothing but griddle food.
Not recommended while we eat. Oh my God.
For night 1, I made smashburgers because I have a Blackstone now, and I think there's some sort of law about that.
I don't think you can be considered a Blackstone owner if you don't make smashburgers on it your first day. But no surprise, they were delicious, easy. The blacktop is just perfect for getting that caramelized burger patty. However, if my family's gonna survive this, I have to move forward with slightly less greasy options. We can't eat burgers and cheesesteaks for 24 hours, although I'm not opposed. Anyways, my family loved them, and in terms of the experience, burgers on a Blackstone is just a match made in heaven. You feel like a king.
Griddle cooking always makes me think of camping with my family. So on Saturday morning, it was a little chilly. I woke up and decided to whip up one of my favorite meals to have in the woods, which is cheesy breakfast burritos.
Cooking on one of these moves really quickly, so you want to make sure you have everything prepped beforehand, your mise en place, if you will. So after prepping a bunch of eggs, sausage, bacon, shredded cheese, I fired up the grill on a chilly morning and got to cooking. To me, there's something just particularly special about a big American breakfast on a weekday morning. It's just the best, and I will definitely be cooking them on the Blackstone from here on out. Outside of not having to do dishes, one of the best things about cooking this way is the ability to cook in zones. You usually start by cooking your proteins, then you work your way down to the more delicate ingredients like eggs or vegetables. There's just something old school about cooking this way. I don't know. Growing up, for whatever reason, I wanted to be a grill cook at a diner. Yes, I don't know why, but I just loved the idea of cooking delicious food for a bunch of people and having this big flat top to organize everything. And here we are today. Dreams do come true. I had my right burner super hot to get some color on the meat and a little cooler on the left for the scrambled eggs, although as you'll see, I still had it a little bit too hot and those eggs just cooked super fast, so I had to rush to get them scrambled. So, lesson learned.
It's tricky because this part's way hotter.
So I heard that Blackstones are notorious for having uneven hot spots along the grill, and I'm sorry to say that it's absolutely true.
As you just saw, the direct center of the two cooking zones gets super hot, while the edges are hardly even cooking these scrambled eggs. I don't expect any griddle to have, perfectly even cooking, but it's definitely pretty noticeable here. Even for the smash burgers, the ones towards the edge didn't get as brown as those center patties, so some rearranging was involved. But these burritos, they were just insanely delicious, alright? This is premium. To me, these are just 1,000 times better, and it was way more fun than cooking breakfast inside in the kitchen. And most importantly, my family loved it. So, we're 2 for 2. Cleaning, I just turned off the burners for a minute or two, gave it some warm water to deglaze, and I've heard some people hate this, but from everything I've read online, it's totally fine. So lunchtime rolled around, I was super hungry, probably should have eaten 2 breakfast burritos, but I decided to make something I've never made before, which is buffalo chicken sandwiches. I didn't look up a recipe or anything, but I was kind of just making this up on the fly, and it really cannot be more simple. Just gonna sizzle these up on the griddle, season your chicken a little bit beforehand with something simple, probably just some salt, pepper, garlic. The goal here is just to get some color on this chicken, and we will be cooking it all the way. Scooted these over and started toasting some buns. These are potato buns. Potato or brioche. You can't really go wrong. buffalo sauce is surprisingly simple. It's just 1 part Frank's Red Hot Sauce to 1 part melted butter. And that's actually it. That is the original recipe for buffalo sauce. But we're gonna let our pieces of chicken hang out in this buffalo sauce and rest. After a few minutes, we can get them back on a low heat over the griddle, sprinkle your favorite cheese on top, and let it get nice and melty. From then on, you just assemble and eat as many as you want. I added a little bit of that extra buffalo on the bottom of the bun. Once again, these were awesome. My family loved them. I just wish I'd made more.
Oh, there he is.
Dinner time rolled around. It was getting crazy. The kids were going nuts. I just needed to get some chicken on the grill, so I just seasoned these up with my favorite barbecue rub, laid down a bunch of butter, and just started searing them off. The tool I'm using here is called a pigtail. I talk about it in my top 5 Traeger accessories videos. It's just perfect for cooking outdoors, no matter what you're using.
Got some gospel in my eye.
All right. Oh, I got seasoning in my eye. Not recommended while windy. Oh my God.
How do you feel right now?
I feel like an amateur. After rinsing out my eyes, I got back to cooking. And lesson learned here, I think I overcrowded this grill, to be completely honest. Man, it was just really letting out a lot of juice, and in the presence of water or liquid, you can't really get as much of a sear. So still good, but not really what I was hoping for. So I'd say all in all, we went 3 for 4 on this experiment. I don't know why, but cooking outside like this is just one of my favorite things to do. After a long day at work, getting home and unwinding outside, enjoying time with the kids, running around, cooking up some delicious food, it's just the best. And normally, it turns into something a lot more than that. We made s'mores over some wood chunks, just did those on the Weber kettle, and I think that happened because we were all outside anyway while I was cooking.
So, while I probably won't be cooking on the Blackstone for every meal, expect to see me using it a lot. Not only is it a blast, but we proved that it works for more than just greasy bar food. Although it is probably best for that.